Hello, welcome along again to Going Places 110. I'm Paul. Putting two videos out pretty close together this time. For those that are following the channel, you may know that the car's just been into the garage very recently, up at STB Automotive through in Larkhall for some dramas. If you haven't checked that video out, have a wee look at it. We've recently got the car back, which is why I thought I would film part of this video in it, just to give you a little bit of an update on how that's went. We then went down to Peebles Hydro into the borders to give the car a proper road test, which video is going to follow this one. But yeah, we'll get parked up and I will give you the update. So for those of you familiar with the channel, or those of you that have watched any of the previous videos, or indeed the previous video, you'll know that the car suffered from a bit of an electrical calamity. Wouldn't start, wouldn't move. Yeah, had to eventually get trailered away through to Stevie and STV Automotive through in Larkhall. Shout out to them for getting the car back to me. We'll cover their video in just a minute as well. Effectively, it's been down to a low battery voltage. I've got the bill here, so let's have a look.
Hi Paul, Stevie here. Just doing a quick video as we're carrying out your service and your full mechanical inspection. So the purpose of this is just to highlight any issues that we may find while we're carrying this out. So here you can see that we've removed the front luggage bin. Gives us good access into the front of the car. So pretty sure that you've seen this site before from our other video when the car was last in. So as you can see, everything's looking all good. We've got your chassis legs there, we have anti-roll bar, ABS pump, then we've got things like your battery, windscreen washer reservoir, we've got your pollen filter, some of your braking components and some of your steering suspension components. So there's no issues found in here, everything's looking okay. No leaks, no cause for concern. We do have the battery cover removed as we were carrying out a battery recondition procedure. But other than that, there is no issues. So here we are at the rear of the car. We've removed some of the trim panels and access panels to give us access into your oil filter housing. So here we can see some of your other engine components, some of your coolant pipes, etc. In here everything's looking okay. We have carried out your engine oil service, so the oil filter has been replaced. We've also carried out some checks in here as well. No issues, no cause for concern. And then further down here we have removed this panel in behind the seats. Now from inside the car you can actually see some of the components a bit better. So one thing we did notice was a slight leak from this upper radiator hose, and you can just see the damp patch just underneath there, just under in here, and that's the same on this hose here. So they come from your thermostat housings, and we'll just give the hose clips a wee nip in there. Other than that, everything else in here is looking in good condition. Obviously we've done the V module and stuff earlier on in the year, so everything else is looking okay. That's nice and dry. So here we are in behind the seats, and you get a better view with that panel removed. So there you can see all your coolant pipes, fuel pipes, back here intake plenum, and then back around to your other side. We did have a slight leak from a couple of these upper coolant pipe clips. Did give them a wee nip up and pressure test it, and they seem to be okay. So other than that, there is no other issues or no cause for concern in here. As we move around the front, I have noticed there is some slight impact damage to your front LTRs, which is your low temp radiators. You see them, this is pretty common. with the location of them being right at the front, they are quite exposed, but there's no leaks, no issues. And then round to your left front, same story as the other side, everything's looking good condition. Brake pads are measuring 7mm, and the rest of your steering suspension components are all in good condition. Well, here we are at the left rear of the car, and we've removed the arch liner just to give us good access into some of your suspension components, rear frame rails, rear con pipes, etc. So everything in here is looking in really good condition. There's no leaks, no issues, no real cause for concern. Brake discs in good condition, and your rear brake pads are measuring 8mm, and your parking brake pads are measuring 5mm. Here we are at the right rear. Once again, everything's looking good condition. Brake discs in good condition. Brake pads measuring the same as the other side at 8mm, and the parking brake pads measuring 5mm. All your suspension components are in good condition. There's no leaks, no issues, and no cause for concern there. Here we are underneath the car. I think I've highlighted this before, but there is slight impact damage to your lower floor panel, and then just some light scuffing across the rest of it. As we went over previously, all your suspension components, steering components are all looking in good condition, across your front subframe and then up to your left hand side. One thing we did notice here is this outer trim panel. You can see it's just got a bit of impact damage there, but nothing that's going to cause any detrimental damage. As we go over the carbon tub, everything's looking okay, and we've removed the engine floor panel and also the gearbox floor panel, just to carry out the rest of our inspections. You can see gearbox is looking pretty dry, as well as the engine. Just some signs there where we had the slight coolant weep, and on that hose there, that was just coming for the top, but we've nipped up the hose clips and we've checked that, and everything's all looking good. A couple of things we did notice was key barrel cover is missing, so I should have a cover over this to protect the emergency key barrel from water and dirt ingress. We also have a fixing missing here for the sill blade. That does need a plastic insert similar to that one, and it's the same on the other side. That's the one missing from here as well. Here we are at the left front, and we've measured the tyre tread depth and noted that on this blue tape here. So on the inside we've got 5.2mm, centre we've got 6.3, and on the other we've got 6.5. All the tyres in good condition, there's no cuts or damage. Here we are at the right front. On the inside we've got 5.8mm, centre we've got 6.6mm, and on the outer we've got 6.4. Tyres in good condition, no cuts or damage. Here we are at the left rear, and on the inside we've measured 5.3mm, centre 5.1, and on the outer 5.1. Same again, tyres in good condition. And this is your right rear tyre, measuring 4.7 on the inside, 4.8 in the centre, and 4.8mm on the outer. Tyres in good condition, there's no cuts or damage. Well, here we have your diagnostic report. You can see here on our front page we've got the list of the control modules, and then where we have the faults in them. And when we flick over, this is one that we've picked up before for the thermostats. The main luggage illumination, that was because we had that disconnected, as well as the door mirror. And the only other one that I would probably have a wee look at is the tracker module missing message. However, these did all clear, so I think that for the thermostats, because that's come up before, I'll probably as well get the car rebooked and having a wee look at that. And then as for the rest, we can, on the car's next visit, we can then just check and see if any of these have come back again. That's us at the end of the inspection. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for using STB Automotive.
Got the bill here, so actually fairly decent. The car has been in for its 9-year service. It's also had the investigation carried out for not starting. It was checked for potential alternator fault. There was various other kind of bits and bobs. The 9-year service has been done. It's been fueled, replacement key batteries. There's been obviously the filters, fuel, all that kind of good stuff, mechanical test, diagnostic tests, various other things. So ultimately walking out with a bill of 1,300 or thereabouts. So it might sound like a lot, but given that there was potential looking at 2.5 for a replacement lithium-ion battery, or potentially less if I was going to go through a conversion to a standard battery, and obviously the reprogram of the car from there. The services themselves, the year 9 service is a fairly minor one, so actual service came in at about £350, which is very reasonable indeed. So that gives you a kind of an idea of the work that went in, getting the car back up and running out onto the road. As said right at the very start of this one, I've filmed these 2 videos kind of out of sequence. We're actually just back from a weekend having a run about the Scottish borders with the Alpine A110 owners. It was a really good opportunity for a side-to-side with the McLaren and the old A110 that we used to have on the channel. It was a cracking weekend. I give the car here a thorough road test as well, in which it acquitted itself very well indeed. Also want to give a shout out to Robert, who was in a courtesy Renault Clio as his Alpine was at the garage, and acquitted himself very well indeed. Was looking for some overtakes in the Clio amongst some really good company. So go and check out that video if you haven't already. That's given an idea of what's involved in maintaining one of these cars. We are going to do a full video with the sort of yearly running cost of one of these, compared to kind of sports cars and things like that. Thanks to you again for watching this short video. Hope you found it at least semi-interesting. Lots more events coming up. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. It would be free to do, and it definitely would mean a lot to me. And I'll see you for the next one.